Mr. Pratap Padode, I would request you to please come here and give the inaugural address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm first of all thankful to Mr. Reji Pillai for inviting me here to address this session on smart water. Thank you very much. Really appreciate this. I think Mr. Kanjlia has laid out the broad parameters of what we are facing currently. And Mr. Arnaba Ghosh has very eloquently summarize the entire scenario. So the good part for me is that there's not much for me to do. Sure. Yeah. But when there is water running, I think there's always so much to be done. I think water obviously has assumed traditionally political, tones all the time. And I think the recent court judgment about allotting additional water from whatever pact had been made between Karnataka and Tamil Nadu is a recent development again. That goes to show that in times to come, this is going to be a bone of contention between cities, between states, between organizations. Obviously, something that's going to go scarce is a cause for concern, is an asset, and I think everybody is trying to demonstrate that right, because times are running out and the asset is also facing depletion. Let me just quickly introduce Smart Cities Council. It's a global consortium of academicians, practitioners, solution providers based out of North America. We have chapters in Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and I had the India chapter for the last 3 years. What is missing in our entire link in India is that although we have plentiful of water as an asset, what we are doing everything possible within our power to ensure that we don't have enough of it. So right from, I think, town planning, where we should be harnessing water that we are getting from a huge monsoon season that we have, right till the wastewater recycling or treating the water or just dumping the water in lakes and other water bodies which even have the potential to service. So we sort of deplete their potential in serving any people at all. So we have instances where the lakes in Bangalore are disappearing, and we have so many other lakes, whether in Ajmer or Udaipur, which are constantly handling sewage because there aren't enough STP plants around. And so we in Smart Cities Council, I was personally part of the need assessment mission of Ajmer, Allahabad and Visakhapatnam, and we actually witnessed the plight of the lake in Ajmer. And obviously the solution was to set up a host of STP plants there to ensure that the state of degradation which was taking place in the lake did not sort of continue. And the smart city budgets may not be enough, and nor are the budgets of smart cities necessary to solve this problem, because there are plenty of other projects which are being put up for infrastructure development of water, whether we call it Namami Gange, which is where a whole lot of, again, water treatment plants need to come up. And there are already moves to stop effluents being thrown into the river. And several such other initiatives which are being laid out. But in a country where we have predominantly agriculture force, which is largely again not very educated to use technology. For example, a drip irrigation technology, or it is always left to the government to actually be planning this through. And I think what the people who are the users of water are the ones who can misuse it by ignorance or otherwise. I don't think we can blame education as part of it, because we see a similar wastage in the urban areas. So we are all guilty to this whole wastage of water that is taking place. But so here comes what has been done. Is this story full of woes, or do we have some success stories as well, which are showing some indication of that we have learnt our lessons, and probably we are going to go ahead in a better planned manner? So I think these statistics you will see throughout the day, which are of course and expressed by our previous speakers. Our situation in water demand is really forcing us to move very quickly and resolve this issue. Smart water technology can come to our rescue, is being deployed in some of the cities. And of course, I think Tom has also mentioned earlier what we can do with technology, how we can monitor our physical infrastructure, monitor drinking water quality, predict conditions, prepare better, harness the energy, and eliminate wasteful leaks. Now, just imagine, I think just for perspective's sake, this is what if you think about it, a faucet which drips every second for a whole year means 19 liters of water every day, or 7,800 liters of water per year. And leaky pipes alone. I think, we of course blame India so much for the non-revenue water, the water wastage, but globally we know that this phenomenon ranges, this kind of wastage takes place between 35 to 40%. So it's not only the resources or the technology which is going to help solve the problem, because if that were so, then the global average should have been different, even in most advanced countries. I think it's also a matter of ethic, a matter of regulation, a matter of pricing. So a whole lot of aspects are required to resolve this problem. Otherwise, yes, there's no single size fits all kind of a solution out here. So there was, in Mumbai, we were losing around 50% of the potable water, and automated meter readers came to the rescue. Itron meters were used, and which improved supplies and helped the municipality to locate the leaks and eliminate the waste. And of course, there was much more credibility on the bills because of the accuracy of data. Similarly, other cities, and I think Nagpur was cited as, Mr. Kanjlia cited Nagpur as one which has, so they have, I think, very logically tried to reduce the demand on drinking water by using recycled water for industrial purposes, thereby reducing the demand on potable water, and been able to achieve some reliability in their water deliveries. Similarly, supplying treated water actually is helping cities. So for example, Nagpur earns nearly 20 crores a year, or Jamnagar just gets 18 crores from SR for supplying water to their water and power plants. So this is another actually revenue for cities if they can really get their act together in treating water and supplying for purposes like power and others which do not necessarily need drinking water. So Delhi had this water ATM, which the New Delhi Municipal Council has installed. So there are some solutions, much of course with very low impact right now, which are being explored, but they all promise some scalability once proven in a smaller area, and which is the whole factor of smart cities. Actually, it's an inspirational model. The whole idea is that one is not going to have resources to do everything ourselves, and we have to inspire multiple solution providers with similar ideas. So this one is doing some, providing some solution here for safe drinking water. However, the challenges are huge. I think we have one, of course, is the finance, and finance is without finance, regular infusion. And I think when even one sees these smart city plans of various 99 cities now, the funds allocated for cities for smart water projects seem to be much lesser than actually required. I think that needs to be really, so I think, somehow the awareness of people in actually, and this is a political situation which was seen even during probably 20 years ago when Mahindra's implemented the Tirupur project, that they didn't know how to price water, because pricing of water, charging of water is a politically sensitive issue. And therefore people constantly feel that this is something that I should be getting by right from the city. And therefore there is no need for charging it. But in essence, in cities today, everybody is paying for water, whether it's a tanker water or whatever. So people have begun to now understand. And now when the municipal commissioners that we talk to feel that how can we charge for something like this, we say, well, everybody is already recognizing that they are paying for it. All they want is consistency and quality. And if you deliver that, people are ready and willing to pay. And therefore, a lot of our projects can be served with user charges, provided they are reasonable, of course. And then the service has to be consistent and quality is to be there, and there has to be accountability. I think these are the three: consistency, quality, and accountability, which is where municipalities would like to not commit themselves. And that is where this problem remains about what can be charged for and how we can make this sustainable. Because the issue of funds is not a one-time infusion. It's a matter of sustainability of the model. You have to install a model which can keep continuing on the basis of user charges with funds allotted for its maintenance, depreciation, etc. So obviously multiple, again, methods will be used in order to, by re-engineering water processes, water optimizing technology, water standard audits, and which is going to result into, with multiple smart solutions are going to come our way. For example, now I was, even in planning, like I was saying earlier, a city like Solapur, which has the maximum number of sugar plants, it was contemplating how it can become smart. And obviously, just by knowing this fact, you can all guess it that yes, you need to ensure that your non-revenue water, what is the percentage? And they had a 55% water loss in transiting water to the city from the reservoirs. And they were contemplating all other host of other projects in the smart city plan other than this as the main focus of their requirements that they need to fulfill for their citizens. Now it's a no-brainer that what they need to really fix is the water issue, and if they are having that much of water and that much is getting wasted, they need to use smart technology and actually get that water back for the city. So smart technology is the only answer there for them to be able to get those results. I'll come to this a little later. I think even on dams that we mentioned, Mr. Kanjalia mentioned that, but I think where the government is not really putting enough effort is in desilting. So we have storage capacity, but I think the desilting programs are on back burners. And obviously, even the whole Maharashtra plan of generating good storage capacity by building dams has been hit by a scam. But now, of course, government is again infusing fresh monies to complete those incomplete projects. So I think storage is definitely an important area which we ought to ensure that our capacities are, and Mr. Ghosh also mentioned that there are only 55% of storage capacities within 5 states. So obviously, going forward, this is another area the planning, etc., must keep into account to ensure that we are able to provide continuous supply of water in those other states as well. So lastly, I would like to just, we conclude by stating that the water problem needs smart solutions. There is no getting away from there. So while the problem may be politically sensitive in nature, but if you have to make public-private partnership projects, you have to demonstrate that there will be a model which has to be sustainable, and only then will private developers or other financiers or international consortiums which participate in such projects will come forward. Otherwise, our investments are always, if we're going to be self-generating via grants, those models are not going to be sustainable in the long run. I think the kind of pressures the urban migration is creating, cities are going to find it very, very difficult to handle this particular facet of life, which is currently low on priority when we examine the plans of the 99 cities which have been put forth. And so I think it is very, very urgent and important that this is taken high on priority. But somehow I feel the citizens' participation is needed, just as waste management requires the last mile connectivity, which is the citizen to contribute. Water too is the user-based initiative as well, equally required the support of everyone. And therefore, I think a collective exercise or a campaign is needed in order to educate both the users and the producers and the other industrial as well as commercial, residential users of water, that what lies ahead, what kind of a fight we have ahead in terms of holding water for our life. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience.